Welcome to the Ninja News Show with the Angry Ninja. Alright guys, it's the Angry Ninja News time. Okay, so things are just popping off. Things are happening. So it is already happening. We talked about Roe Vs Wae last time, so I'm not going to get too much into that because honestly there's been no major changes except for the trigger laws went into effect. There's now 13 states that abortions are completely illegal in, and that happened pretty much the second Roe vs. Wade went into effect, and now there's 13 more that are working on it, and so by this time next week, there'll be 26 states where abortions are completely illegal. And, here's my thing. People are like, words not about our religion, blah, 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 blah. Yes, it is. And you're forcing your morals onto other people. And that's not okay. And some of y'all come off as real hypocritical because you're like, I don't want the government telling me what to do with my stuff. Okay. Because the government was trying to take you a vaccine and you wouldn't, but it's okay for you to tell somebody else what to do with their body. That's not okay. You're like, oh, but there's a baby in there. There is points during a pregnancy when it's not really a baby yet. It's just fetal tissue. It doesn't have a heart. It doesn't have lungs. It doesn't have a brain. And if you're one of those people who believes that life begins at conception, then every woman's a mass murderer. Because, most of a woman's fertilized eggs, which would y'all consider the point of conception, are shed naturally through the monthly menstrual cycle. Most of the time, those eggs are fertilized, and they get kicked out the body because they don't attach to the uterine wall. That's how that happens. That's science. So either every woman's a mass murderer or your argument doesn't make sense. It's your choice. You get to pick one. But some of the states are passing laws that I think are ridiculous. So, for example, the state I live in, it is illegal to smoke weed. It's against the law. If I drive my happy ass down to California, I can smoke all the weed I want in California. And I drive out to Kentucky. As long as I don't bring any with me. I did not break any rules because it's legal to smoke weed in California and Colorado. Whatever. I think Colorado would be easier, but that's the point. So I could do that. So these states are trying to pass laws to where girl lives, say, I don't think Kentucky's one of the ones doing it, but I'm just taking an example because I know it's a state that has one of the trigger laws. Girl in Kentucky drives to a state where it's legal to get abortion, gets her abortion, then drives home. Now that's also a crime, and anybody that assists her in doing that is committing a crime. But she's going somewhere where it's legal. So you're saying she can't travel somewhere and do something illegal in another state and come back because she lives here? Really? A lot of them can't even do it because the reason they need abortion is because they're in poverty and they don't have money. But if somebody can do it, why not let them? And I guarantee you, if it's a senator's wife or a senator's child, well, he'll fly her to whatever state they want. And since they got money, nobody's going to even ask. Just saying, that's just how that is going to go. So, I already disagree with the fact that you're making it illegal to get abortion in your state. If I got going after people who are trying to leave the state to just find a way to do it legally, leave them alone. You're ridiculous. And yes, you are pushing your morals onto other people. Because there is no national law saying there's sanctity of life for an unborn fetus. There isn't. There's points where the fetus isn't viable. Or it isn't developed enough to be a baby yet. So there's that. So do you take your little sanctity of life argument, and that's something straight out of religion, and cram it up your butt? Because, if sanctity of life was a thing, y'all wouldn't want the death penalty. Because sanctity of life. But you do, so there's that. And pressing your moral beliefs onto other people to dictate how they live is wrong. And it's something you can plan about you. Also, we're going to talk about this whole drag queen thing real quick because y'all are pissing me off with this one too. Y'all are protesting drag queen events. And they're trying to indoctrinate our children. They're trying to indoctrinate our children. One, somebody was saying this happening in the schools. I've looked, I've checked. I have found no school that has had it as part of a school requirement, school thing. Okay. I couldn't even find one that happened in a school, but I'm sure it happened in one school somewhere. But nowhere have I found anywhere it's been required for the students to attend. It is called Story Time with a Drag Queen, and parents usually set a public library or public area, and parents who want to take their kids to see these over-the-top characters, drag queens, because drag queens are over the top, generally, read children's stories. They don't go in there and talk about penis and vagina. They go in there and read them children's stories. And you know what? Maybe it's children's stories that have a message about acceptance of gay and maybe body acceptance and things like that. But those books out there read. And more importantly, you're like, they're forcing this on your kids. No, they're not. It's parents who choose to take their children to that event. So by protesting these events and interfering with these events, and you're doing exactly what you say you don't want people to do. You don't want people forcing this on your kids. They're not. It was a choice. These parents chose. That's what they wanted to expose their kids to. That's what they wanted their kids to learn. That's what they wanted their kids to see. They wanted to show their kids of acceptance. And I promise you, the kids just saw a lady in a dress with a lot of makeup with big hair. That's all they saw. Because the drag queen doesn't whip out her penis while this is going on. She keeps her peen put away. They tend to tuck it back. They don't show the peen. Just saying. And they read them a children's story. And by protesting these events, again, they're protecting the children. They're not your kids. It's not your morals. It's that parent's morals. And if that parent's moral says it's okay and they're not harming the child by having somebody you don't like read them a children's story, you just need to leave it alone. They're not doing anything wrong. Now, if you can show me an event at a school where teachers are forcing kids to attend a drag queen event, then you know what? I'd be like, no. That should be up to the parent. I'm with you on that one. Maybe you don't want your kid exposed to that. You want to wait till a later age. That's fine. That's your choice as a parent. I will leave that alone. As long as you're not teaching them hate, I'm good. And even if you're teaching them hate, that's your choice. I just think it's wrong. But I'm not going to go in your house and tell you not what to teach a kid because it's your kid. Now, if you teach them hate, they're going to end up in jail one day. But whatever. That's your choice. But that's the point. Volunteer events. Kids come of their own free will, or the parents bring them of their own free will. They're not forced. It's not like there's a drag queen. It's not like, I don't even know. My wife loves the drag queens. I should be able to say it. It's not like Eureka's behind one. Eureka, that's her name. Eureka's behind one with a shotgun going, "Ooh, you gotta take your kid so I can read you a story about my penis." That's not what's happening. It's not. And from all the videos I've seen, they're just fun, silly events where they read kids. Like, whatever. Let it go. Stop enforcing your morals onto other people. Yeah. The minute they make your kid go by force, by all means, burn the place to the ground. I got you. I understand. That's not what's happening. And that's the same thing with abortion. There are 24 states that believe it's perfectly legal and fine. There's 26 states that don't. More than 60% of every poll done says Americans are in favor of it. I think the number's up higher now. So yeah, that's your morals that you think make it wrong. Yours, personal morals. And if that's your personal morals, that's cool. But that doesn't give you the right to put your personal morals on other people. Now, so you won. If your state's made it illegal, be happy. I'm not going to be mad at you for being happy because you think it's the right thing. But stop trying to prosecute people who are trying to go to a place where it's legal. Legal. Where it's legal. 100% legal. Period. That's my point. Stop. That's when it becomes a problem, if you start enforcing your morals on other people. Because if it's not their morals not to do it, and it's still just fetal tissue, and they want to go somewhere where it's legal, let them. Y'all are literally going to try to prosecute charity groups that are helping these parents. Well, not really parents yet. They don't want to be parents. Why? This is crazy. Oh, and the speeches. The lies. Whoo. Taxpayers have not paid for an abortion for years. That law got passed a long time ago. When they said they were stopping taxpayers from paying for abortions, that was a lie. It's not how it worked. Planned Parenthood did way more than do abortions. They actually try to teach people how to plan for their parenthood by giving them contraceptives and education and women's health and cancer screenings and pap smears and mammograms and just all kinds of stuff around women's health that would actually really be helpful. It had nothing to do with abortion. There are whole Planned Parenthood clinics that didn't even do abortions. Like, y'all, really, that's what the tax funding went to help low income women get the health care they needed besides abortions. Although abortion is health care. Let's just get that out of the way. So, man. All right, moving on. We got to talk about Trump for a second because I don't get Trump sometimes. I don't think everybody gets Trump all the time. But the January 6th thing's going on, right? Whew. I think he's going to get prosecuted. I really do. Lawyer who advised Trump says federal agents seized his phone. This idiot, John Eastman, the lawyer, which I don't think he's going to be a lawyer once it's all said and done, the one that gave Trump the crazy idea that he could submit fake electors, an alternate slate of electors, if you want to use those terms, for the states that he believed were rigged, wrong, the swing states. But my thing with that is one, they had shown Trump all the evidence that was wrong, that there was no election fraud, there was no widespread vote. They found like four. He lost by thousands, lost by millions nationwide. So there was no election fraud. And the original concept was, which I agree with this part, that while we're fighting this in court, because he's perfectly allowed to fight it in court, we're going to put together a slate of electors. That way, if it gets overturned in court and we win, the electors are ready to go. And I'm okay with that. That is smart preparation. Like, okay, there's a chance that we can win this in court. If we win this in court, bam, here's your electors. They're ready to go, so we can go win the election legally. Because if he had won in court, he would have won. I would have been unhappy about it, but he would have won. And actually, now the way things are going, I don't know. It's kind of crappy. Anyway, moving on. So, that's fine. But the problem is they lost 60-something court battles. All of them. They lost every one of them because there was no voter fraud. And he didn't want to accept that. So they literally tried to still do the electors at that point. At that point, they went from being an alternate state of electors to a fake set of electors. They had fake paperwork. It looked official, looked good, but they didn't send it to the proper channels. They literally tried to have a congressman sneak it to Mike Pence on the floor of the Senate the day of the confirmation on January 6th. And Pence's staff's like, you don't even give that to him. That's not legal. That's not certified. Get that the fuck out of here. I mean, so the dude behind this whole big plan is Mr. Eastman, knew it was wrong, knew it wasn't legal, and is under all kind of scrutiny, of course, because this whole big thing was his plan. And they come and took his phone. They're like, we got your phone, and he's about to learn something that he's not gonna like. Yeah, and you know what that is? Even when you delete shit, it's still there. 'Cause I guarantee you deleted it, but man, the forensic stuff they can do with phones now, they're going to pull every text message he ever sent. They're so good, they're going to be able to pull the text messages he sent on his last phone off this thing. They're going to know everything. And I'm betting Eastman's going to jail, and he looks like a little snitch. So he's going to roll on the president in a heartbeat. Like, that's it. Like, all these people who testify are all Republicans. They're all rolling on the president. They're like, we told him he was nuts. Told him. He still did it. We told him. They're like, we want no part of it. That's like, everybody's like, he was down to like 4 people who were on his side, and they just had to be the 4 craziest people. Yeah. Oh. So, yeah. I think Eastman's going to get it. I think Trump's going to get it in the end, which could end up being a good thing. I think, I'm hoping we get a much saner, more middle Republican candidate, and a much saner and more middle Democratic nomination, and we have an election where we can meet in the middle and come up with some stuff that's actually going to work. I can hope. I can dream. I can hope and dream. And, maybe somebody's not 50,000 years old. Like, I would take somebody in their 50s, 40s, hell, even 60s at this point. Stop giving me like 78, 76-year-old men, like where I have to wonder constantly, are you all there? I don't think Trump's all there. Sometimes I wonder about Biden being all there. The problem with Biden is he's been doing some of the same stupid shit since the 90s, so it's hard to tell. And give me a 40-year-old president, so I don't have to worry about that. That would be awesome. All right, guys. Let's work on that. Can we get some better choices? I want better choices. That's what I really want. That's what I want for my birthday this year. I want better choices. All right, guys. Oh, that's gonna be the show for today. I hope you enjoyed it. We hit some news, and we talked about some things. We got some views and things, and all amazing. All right, guys. You guys have a wonderful day. That's right. I hope everybody enjoyed the show. And I hope you enjoy all the shows on the Ninja Podcast Network. Please check out our other shows. Ask the Angry Ninja Show, Angry Ninja Presents Not a Kid's Game, our D&D podcast, Chris Allen's Audio Stories, where I read some short stories to you that I wrote. Ninja and Moonshine, Middle of the Road podcast, guy from the left, guy from the right, coming together and trying to meet in the middle. Doesn't always work out like that. The Ninja News and Politics Show, Outrageous Stories with the Angry Ninja and the occasional special guest. And Sports Talk with Ninja and JMO. Those are the shows. If you want to reach out and contact me or anybody on any of the shows, you can reach me and I'll pass on the message at cman2342 on Twitter, or an email, asktheangryninja@gmail.com, or just get on Facebook and search for the Ask the Angry Ninja Show, and we'll reach out and talk to you. We love questions. We'll answer your questions, any topics you want to cover, or hey, if you want to mail me a prize. I like prizes. Hope you guys enjoyed the show, and have a wonderful night.